The village of Obodo Ala shimmered under the midday sun. Market stalls overflowed with roasted yams, palm oil, and fish from the river. Children chased one another between clay huts. At the center of it all stood the chief's compound. Tall wooden gates, carved posts, and a courtyard that smelled of smoked meat and incense. Inside sat Chief Kalu, on a stool carved from Iroko wood. Gold beads circled his neck. A leopard skin cloak draped across his shoulders. He should have looked like the happiest man in the world. But his face was dark with frustration. His first wife, Adaze, walked in carrying a gourd of palm wine. She placed it before him and bowed. "Drink, my husband. The gods have favored you again. The traders from Umuahaya have brought more tribute. Your barns will not hold it all." Kalu only grunted. "And yet, I remain but a chief over one village. Others bow to me, but not enough. Why should I not command the entire river belt? Why should my name not thunder from one end of the forest to the other?" Adaze frowned. "You already have what most men dream of. Too much hunger, Kalu, can devour the man who feeds it." Kalu shot her a cold look. "A goat that stays in one place grows fat for the slaughter. I will not stay in one place." He waved her away, but she lingered. "My husband, remember this. The same wind that carries a man high can also throw him down." Kalu rose abruptly and left the compound. The market was bustling, filled with the smell of smoked fish and pepper soup. As he walked, he caught fragments of an old hunter's tale being told nearby. The hunter, Okorie, stooped and gray-bearded, sat under a mango tree surrounded by curious young men. His voice was low and rough, like dry leaves. "Beyond the third bend of the Black River," Okorie said, "in the forest where even the birds do not sing, lives Ekwensu, the spirit of shadows. It grants anything a man desires, wealth, power, fame. But every gift has a price." The young men laughed nervously. "Old man," one of them said, "what could it ask that would be worse than poverty?" Okorie's eyes narrowed. "It can take what you do not even think you own." Kalu stepped forward, his voice sharp. "You speak boldly, old man. What do you know of this spirit?" Okorie bowed slightly, but met Kalu's gaze. "I know only what my father told me, my chief. Many who go seeking Ekwensu do not return. Those who return are never the same." Kalu's lips curled into a thin smile. Then they were weak. "I am not." Okorie shook his head. "Strength does not protect a man from his own greed. Be careful, my chief." That night, the compound was silent. The moon was hidden behind clouds. Adaze lay asleep, her arm across their youngest child. Kalu sat by the dying embers of his hearth, staring into the flames. The hunter's words drummed in his skull. "Grants anything a man desires. Every gift has a price." He rose, his decision made. "Why should I crawl when the path to greatness lies before me?" he muttered. He took a small goatskin bag, filled it with kola nuts, palm oil, and a cock's feather for offering, and slipped out through the back gate. Not even his guards saw him go. At the edge of the great forest, the wind hissed through the trees like a warning. An owl cried, low and eerie. But Kalu's ambition burned brighter than his fear. He spoke into the darkness. "Spirit of shadows, I am coming. When I find you, I will take what is mine." And with that, Chief Kalu disappeared into the black mouth of the forest, his footsteps swallowed by silence, leaving behind his wives, his children, and his shadow stretching long in the moonlight. The forest swallowed Chief Kalu whole. Moonlight barely touched the ground. The trees rose like pillars in a temple of darkness. Crickets sang, and somewhere in the distance, a branch snapped like a warning. Kalu pushed forward, clutching his goatskin bag of offerings. Sweat rolled down his face, though the night air was cool. His heart thudded louder with every step. He reached the Black River, a narrow stream whose waters moved without sound. the hunter had said. Beyond the third bend. Kalu followed the winding path along the bank until he reached a pool so dark it looked like melted night. A faint mist rose from its surface. The air grew heavy. The smell of iron and earth filled his nostrils. He stopped at the edge. Ekwensu, Kalu called into the darkness, his voice steady. Spirit of shadows, I bring offerings. Show yourself. At first, there was nothing. Then the water began to ripple. Mist curled upward, forming a shape. Tall, shifting, neither man nor beast. Eyes like burning coals opened in the darkness. A voice rolled out, deep and echoing, like a drum beaten underwater. Who dares call me at the black pool? Kalu straightened his back. I am Chief Kalu of Obodo Ala. I come for power, for wealth, for dominion. I bring gifts to honor you. He placed the kola nuts, palm oil, and cock's feather on a flat stone. The mist shape bent over them, inhaling the scent. A low chuckle rattled the trees. You bring small gifts for great things, the spirit said. Do you know the cost of what you ask? Kalu's chin lifted. I have gold, cattle, slaves. Name your price. The spirit's laughter hissed like a snake. Gold, cattle, slaves. These are crumbs. I take what is deeper. Every man walks with a shadow, a mirror of his soul. Give me your shadow, and I will give you all you desire. Kalu frowned. A shadow? That is nothing. Take it. The spirit tilted its head. Nothing? Your shadow is your anchor to the living world. Without it, you will still walk, still breathe, but you will no longer be fully human. You will have wealth, but people will fear you. Even your own blood will whisper behind your back. Kalu's eyes burned with ambition. Let them whisper. Power silences all tongues. The mist thickened, curling like fingers. Then kneel. Kalu knelt. A cold wind circled him, and the black pool glowed faintly. The spirit's voice dropped to a whisper. Do you give freely what I ask? I do, Kalu said. Speak your wish aloud. I wish for riches beyond counting. I wish for the chiefs of the river belt to bow to me. I wish for my name to thunder like a god's. The spirit's form rose taller, blotting out the trees. It is done. A rush of icy air struck Kalu. He gasped as he felt something tear away from him, not his flesh, but something deeper. The ground beneath him darkened, but no shadow stretched from his body. He looked down. He cast none. The spirit's coal eyes glowed brighter. You have your power. Your barns will overflow. Your enemies will kneel. But remember, every gift has its price. Without your shadow, you will gain much, and lose more than you know. Before Kalu could reply, the mist collapsed into the pool. The forest went still. Only the sound of his own heartbeat remained. He stood slowly, trembling. The offerings were gone. The pool was black and calm again. He turned to leave, glancing at the ground. But there was no dark form moving with him, no twin of his body in the moonlight. For the first time in his life, Chief Kalu felt a flicker of unease. Yet he straightened his shoulders and muttered to himself, Let them fear me. Soon they will bow to me. He walked back toward Obodo Ala, the night swallowing his footsteps, his body alone in the moonlight where once his shadow had been. When Chief Kalu returned to Obodo Ala, dawn had just begun to stain the sky. The cock crowed, and traders were opening their stalls. His first wife, a daisy, saw him enter the compound and frowned. My husband, where have you been all night? She asked softly. Out seeking what is mine, Kalu replied. His voice carried a strange edge. Soon you will see. All of you will see. Adais stared at him. Something about his face seemed harder, colder. But before she could speak again, Kalu brushed past her into the hut. Within days, Strange things began to happen. Traders from neighboring villages arrived with gifts far richer than before. Sacks of cowries, carved ivory, gold dust. Hunters brought more game than the forests could hold. Kalu's barns overflowed with yams. He bought slaves, warriors, and horses. At the great market, people whispered, "Have you seen the chief's compound? He has wealth like a king. His warriors are more than ours combined. Even the river chiefs are sending tribute." But another whisper slithered among the crowd. "Have you noticed? He walks at noon with no shadow. A man without a shadow is not a man at all. Perhaps he has bargained with something dark." One afternoon, as Kalu sat under the big Iroko tree hearing disputes, an old woman approached trembling. She bowed, but did not look up. "My chief," she said, "I bring palm wine as tribute." "Good," Kalu said. "Leave it." The woman hesitated. "Forgive me, but the people are afraid. They say you walk without a shadow." The courtyard went still. Kalu's warriors shifted uneasily. Adais, standing at the edge, gasped quietly. Kalu rose slowly, his leopard skin cloak flowing behind him. "A shadow? What is a shadow? Can it build barns? Can it command warriors? Does it bring tribute?" "No, my chief," the woman whispered. "Then go back to your people and tell them this," Kalu thundered. "I am their chief. I will be their king. And soon, their fear will turn to worship." The woman scurried away, clutching her wrapper. Adise stepped closer, her face pale. "My husband," she murmured. "What have you done?" Kalu turned his cold dark eyes on her. "I have done what weak men fear to do. The gods themselves will know my name." She lowered her gaze. For the first time since their marriage, she felt a chill when she looked at him. Weeks passed. Kalu's power grew, but so did the unease. Chickens scattered when he walked by. Children cried and hid behind their mothers. Even his own sons avoided his gaze. His nights were restless, filled with dreams of cold mist and eyes like burning coals. One night, as he tried to sleep, a whisper drifted through the hut. Not loud, but clear as if someone spoke right beside his ear. "You have wealth, you have power, but your shadow walks with me." Kalu sat up sharply. "Who's there?" Only silence answered. Adise stirred but did not wake. He rose and stepped outside. The moon was full, silvering the courtyard. He looked down at his feet. No shadow stretched beneath him. Nothing at all. For the first time since his bargain, a tremor of fear passed through him. But he clenched his fists and muttered, "They are afraid because they are small. They cannot understand greatness. Soon, I will crush every whisper." He did not see Adayezi standing just inside the hut, watching him from the darkness, tears on her cheeks. Rain beat down on Obodo Ala, as if the sky itself had opened. For 3 days storms raged, flattening yam fields and sweeping away goat pens. Fishermen came back with empty nets. Women whispered in the market, "This is no ordinary storm. The gods are angry. It's because of Chief Kalu's shadow." Inside his grand compound, Kalu sat on a carved stool, staring at the offerings piled before him. Ivory, gold, goats, and palm wine. None of it brought him peace. His warriors were restless. Even his closest advisors whispered among themselves. Adise entered, her wrapper soaked. She stood at the doorway, her eyes dark with sorrow. "My husband," she said softly, "the people suffer. They say this curse is because of you. They are afraid. They are starving." Kalu slammed his hand against the stool. "Enough. Let them fear. Did they not rejoice when my barns were full? Did they not sing my name? Now they blame me for the rain. Fools." Adais stepped closer. "Kalu, you must undo what you have done." He looked at her sharply. "Undo it? Power is not undone. Once a river flows, it cannot be pushed back. She raised her chin. Then go back to where you got it. If not for you, then for your children. For a moment, Kalu's eyes softened. He looked past her at his sons standing in the courtyard, their small faces pale and frightened. Then his jaw hardened. No, he said. I will not crawl to that spirit like a beggar. I will command it. That night, as thunder cracked overhead, Kalu gathered his charms and walked back toward the black pool. The forest seemed darker than before. No birds called. The path twisted like a snake. When he reached the pool, mist already rose from its surface. He called out, his voice fierce. Ekwensu, spirit of shadows, come to me. The water rippled. Coal-bright eyes appeared. The spirit's voice rolled like distant thunder. You return. Kalu stood tall. I want my shadow back. The storms are destroying my land. The people fear me. Take back your power and return what you took. The spirit laughed, a low, cold sound. Return? A bargain once made is sealed. You gave your shadow freely. You cannot have it back. Then take your wealth, your power. I want none of it, Kalu shouted. You misunderstand, the spirit hissed. The wealth is yours. The power is yours. The price was your shadow. There is no undoing. Kalu's hands trembled. Then what must I do? The mist thickened. You must give me more. Kalu's voice dropped to a whisper. More? Your blood, the spirit said softly. A life from your own house. Then perhaps your shadow will return. Kalu's breath caught. He saw Adaizi's face in his mind. He saw his son's. He clenched his fists until his nails cut his palms. No, he said. I have already given too much. Then live as you are, the spirit said. A king without a shadow. A man feared, but never loved. The mist began to fade. Desperate, Kalu shouted, Wait! But the pool went still again, black as death. He sank to his knees, the rain soaking him, and for the first time Chief Kalu wept. By morning, word spread through Obodo Ala. The storms had worsened. Crops were drowned. Children fell sick. Warriors deserted the chief's compound. Kalu returned from the forest looking older, his fine robes clinging to his thin frame. Adaiz met him at the gate. What did you do? She asked. I refused, he said hoarsely. It wanted blood, our blood. Adaizi's eyes filled with tears. Then you are lost. Days turned into weeks. The people rose against him. First they stopped bringing tribute. Then they refused his summons. Finally, the elders gathered at the market square. Chief Kalu has brought a curse upon us, they declared. We will no longer obey him. That night, the villagers stormed his compound. Kalu's warriors, once loyal, slipped away. Only Adaiz stood by him, holding their children close. He faced the mob alone at the gate. The moon shone high, silver and merciless. His body cast no shadow on the ground. Go! He shouted at the crowd. I am still your chief. You are nothing, a man cried. You sold your soul. A stone struck his shoulder. Another grazed his cheek. The crowd surged forward. Adaiz screamed, Leave him. He is still my husband. But Kalu raised his hand. No, he said quietly. This is my doing. He turned to her. For the first time in months, his eyes were gentle. Take the children. Go to your brother's village. Live. No, she whispered. Yes, he said. Please. She stared at him, then slowly gathered the boys and backed away, tears streaming down her face. Kalu turned back to the mob. The moonlight gleamed on his bare head. He spread his arms. If my shadow is gone, let my body follow, he said. Do what you came to do. They rushed him. By dawn, the compound was empty, except for blood on the ground. When Adaiz returned days later with her brother's warriors, they found only silence. No body, no shadow. Nothing but the black pool beyond the forest, rippling as if it had swallowed something whole. From that day on, the people said the storm ceased because the spirit had claimed what was owed. Adaize raised her sons in her brother's house. She told them, "Power without honor is a curse. Remember your father and choose wisely." And even now, elders in Obodo Allah tell this story at night, of a chief who sold his shadow for power, and how the spirit took him when the price came due.